So welcome to our first PowerApps for Kids session APAC for 2021. If you are new here, this session is specially tailored for kids targeting age 9 to 16. Obviously, we don't stop anyone older or younger who wants to join and wants to learn. So you're never too young to learn, right? So today, this is the agenda that we have. We're going to talk about who are we, why learn PowerApps. Geetha will introduce that. We have two superstars today, which is Zara and Zenubia. They are the youngest 10-year-old twins in the world who have gotten their Power Platform certification, and we are very lucky to have them today. I'm actually very excited in this session because we're gonna listen to them talk about their journey, and they're also gonna show us a scenario of PowerApps and Power Automate. Then we have Geetha. Geetha is from Singapore. She's really awesome. If you've been following the community, you have seen her around. She's very active in the Woman in Tech session. Sorry if I got the name wrong. Just too many community events these days. But she'll show us how to use data source in PowerApps. And later on, I'll introduce you to all the resources that you can get from PowerApps for Kids. So let's start with who are we. Let's start with what is PowerApps. So Geetha, I'll let you start first.
Sure. Thank you, Leonie. Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to PowerApps for Kids APAC Chapter 4. And this is our first event of the year 2021. And we are excited to have Zara and Zenubia here today, along with Geetha. And yes, and we have, I saw one more kid as well from, I think it's Ali Zafar. And it's, I think hopefully many more will be going to join. With that, why to learn PowerApps and what is PowerApps? I just make it quite simple. So I'm gonna first, for children, why PowerApps, right? And then I'll say why you need PowerApps for the parents. So for children, it's simple to build. Okay? It's so simple to build. As you can see, kids from 18 to 14 years have built many cool apps, which we are going to share. The links we'll share in the chat. You can check out maybe at PowerApp for Kids web. During that time, probably Lani will share her screen and she'll show some cool apps that we already have, the kids have built on. You really can build many apps like that as well. And using PowerApps, you can build apps for your school, for your club, or for yourself, to play around with that. I know you can boast yourselves as a young developer, and you can absolutely do this. There is no doubt at all. For parents, it can be used for many business use cases. If you already have Office 365, which means you already have PowerApps with you. It's going to be similar to Excel formulas and then PowerPoint designing, and you can build apps for phones, tablets, and iPads, and computer as well. The beauty of this PowerApps, as I said, it's so easy and faster to build apps with little or no effort, no code at all, right? And literally anyone can start with it and have fun. So the idea of this PowerApp for Kids is to bring the children and the parents together and make the learning and leverage the technology to upskill yourselves. With that, I'll pass to Lani to introduce our amazing speakers today.
Thank you, Geetha. For the rest of you, if you guys have other opinions on why we should learn PowerApps, just leave it in the comment below, because it's very good for us to know why is everyone learning PowerApps, why you learn and why I learn, why Geetha learn. It's probably all different reasons. So first I'll introduce myself. I'm Elaine. I'm from Melbourne. So I'm a Malaysian. I used to work in Malaysia, Singapore, and now I'm based in Melbourne. I'm an MVP, which probably doesn't matter to anyone in this room. It just means that I'm active in the community, in the Power Platform research community. That's all. Next I have is my partner in crime, Geetha. Geetha, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm just Geetha from Singapore.
Is that all?
That's all.
All right, so Geetha is probably low playing himself. He's also an MVP. He's based in Singapore. He's been in the Power Platform, working with Power Platform probably for 5-7 years now, I think, Geetha. So he's like the veteran, the old man. Call him Uncle Geetha.
No, guys. Yeah.
Next, obviously, we have the awesome Zara and Zenubia. They are 10 years old. They are based in Singapore from Pakistan. Youngest girls to ever gotten their Power Platform certification. Very inspiring, very admirable. Zara, Zenubia, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name is Zara. And my name is Zenubia.
Where, do you have anything to
I'm
say?
Zenubia and she's Zara.
All right. What's
We're
your
in grade
interest?
5.
So cute.
Cool. Do you have any interest? What do you do besides learning PowerApps and studies? And do you have anything else?
We read, we swim, we cycle, and when you're not doing that, we play.
Awesome. They have a very balanced lifestyle, Jiwa.
Not like me, yeah.
We need to play more too.
Yes.
Thanks, girls. We are very, very happy to have you here. Okay.
Thank you.
So next we have is Geetha. Geetha is from Singapore. Geetha, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, hi guys. To keep it simple, kids could understand. Yeah, I'm Geetha from Singapore. That's it. So simple to keep it. Yeah, I've learned a little, so I'm using little to earn out of it. So hopefully all of you also will shine bright in the future.
I love that. I love that last sentence. So
Yeah.
what I want to emphasize here is that we are all learning. There's no me expert or you expert. All of us are here to learn. I always say, when people always come and tell me things like, oh, you've been here for 10 years and we just started learning, there's no such thing. The product is evolving, so
Yeah.
we are all learning. And I'm learned a lot from you kids presenting, to be honest. All right. So now I'll just pass on the baton to our superstars, Zara and Zenubia. You want to share your screen and present?
Good day to everyone, and we are excited to be on PowerApps for big kids and little kids. My name is Zenubia and my name is Zara, and together we are the youngest Power Platform certified professionals. Yay! So today our plan is a little bit about our journey to Power Platform and how our interest started to build in this platform. Also, Zenubia and myself are going to share how we can turn ideas into apps and use Power Automate flows in them. So let's begin with a short story of our journey. Back in September 2019, during our semester break, we started learning books about computers and our interest grew further. And we started learning about JavaScripting and started to get ideas about programming. It was all going great, but then COVID-19 happened. And we got stuck in our home with lots of free time. We started searching websites and learning more about programming, and for the first time became aware of Power Platform. We started watching videos on Power Platform and started to really like it. We continued learning until December 2020 started, when our mom motivated us to take the PL 900 exam. We prepared using Microsoft Learn and practiced a lot of labs. We took the exam while we were really scared, but all ended well as we became MCP. Now I will stop boring you all with our story and hand over to Zenubia to show some cool apps. Over to you, Zenubia. Thank you, Zara. Hello again, and this time it's Zenubia here. I'm going to share with you how I have been able to solve one of my problems and turn ideas into reality. I love reading, and I read everywhere and anywhere, but it's difficult for me to remember what books I have read so far, so I can brag about it to my sister. So, I wanted to make an app that can easily record the books I have read and helps me negotiate with my parents for a better gift. So for this, I'm going to use Microsoft Excel as my record book and use PowerApps to capture the information in Excel. To do this, first we will go to OneDrive for Business and click on New. This will open the options and we will select Excel Workbook. When we click that, it will take us to a new workbook. You can see here that I have already written down some columns that I need in my app. After writing all of that down, you can click Insert and select Table. It might show you a message like this, so you should click My Table has headers or else your columns won't be our headers for your table. So it is very important to select that. After selecting it, select OK to continue. After you are done, it should look like this. It'll be great if you can name your workbook so that you can find it easily. Please notice how I've mentioned image in square brackets. You need to remember this and I will explain later. Okay, now click the 9 dots next to Excel to go to Office 365. After that, close the tab. It will open here, so then select the same 9 dots next to Office 365. Select PowerApps from here, and if you don't have it here, go to All Apps under the Apps and find PowerApps there. If you can't find it there, then you probably don't have its license. It'll open to PowerApps like this. You might also need to select the correct environment so you don't create it in the wrong one. Click Excel Online under Start from Data. It'll take you here, so click Create if you don't already have a OneDrive for Business connection. It'll take you here, so find your Excel file and select it. So you see how we rename the workbook. You can find it easily in others. As for me, I haven't created any others. You'll come here, so choose your table and click Connect. It'll look like this when it is loading, so don't worry when that happens. Voila! Our fully functioning app is ready. It can list records, add new records, and even add or delete records just in a matter of few minutes. Let's take an app tour. Okay, now let's add a new record. First, I'll add details here. The name, the author, and the date. Notice the image column has automatically selected Add Image Control because if you recall, we mentioned square brackets. I can add an image file and save the record. And now we will add the rating as a final step and click on Done. So this app is now ready with the ability to record my books. However, we can improve this app further and make it more cool, like adding a camera. For that, first we have to create a new screen. So we will go to Insert and select Blank Screen from all the new screens. After that, we're going to add a camera from the media options. Notice so many other cool controls that we'll discuss sometime later. Next is to size the camera control. We'll add an image to show the picture, so we can confirm if the image is good or not. Resize it as shown and set its image property to camera1.photo. This way you can see the camera's picture. Add a button saying OK. You can also change the text if you want. One last thing here is to change the onSelect property to navigate to Edit Screen 1. Now that you are in Edit Screen, go to Image 2 and set its image value to this formula. Now don't worry, it's a simple formula that is checking if my form is for edit or new and choosing what image to show accordingly. Now we have to add the icon to the camera screen. The most suitable one would be a camera. Make sure you select the card first. We are also going to change its onSelect property to navigate to Screen 1. all done. In my app, I have made a few more changes like adding rating control and date picker to make my app experience easy. Let's take a look at the final app. Let's add another book and use a camera here. I'm going to put in my favorite book or one of my favorite books. As you can see, for the completion date, I have added a date picker. Now, instead of writing the date, you can select the date. And for image, you can upload it or take a picture. I'm going to take a picture of the book first. Say hi to me. Now we're going to add the last step and then save it. Alright, I hope you have learned something new today, and let me hand over to Zara again. Awesome app, Zenubia. Thank you for sharing, and I am sure I will use this app as well. But let's improve this app further and solve one more problem, which is how to inform our parents about our progress. To do that, I'm going to use Power Automate. So let's begin. I'm going to click on the 9 dots and access Power Automate. This has taken us to the home page of Power Automate, where I will start designing my flow. Quick reminder, check the environment, please. Now we will go to Create and select a Power Automate Instant Cloud Flow. Now don't worry when this shows up because it's only asking for the name, and since it's an instant flow, it must have a trigger to start. Now as for me, I have put the flow name property to send mail to parent, but you can change it if you want. As for the starting trigger, select PowerApps so we can connect to Zenubia's book app later on. Now we are in a flow designer. Some people prefer calling it canvas, but I like to call it designer. Next, I'm going to select new step. And this is also a way we will be able to define all our steps in our flow. This is how we will end up. Here we can see all the connectors and their actions available in our environment. Now I will select Excel Online Business to connect to the Excel sheet so I can get the list of all books captured using Zenubia's app. Now select list rows present in a table. Remember there was a table called Table 1? Zenubia, you need to get a bit creative with naming, please. This is what it should look like. Now I'll just follow the instructions as the connector is asking, like location of file, library file name, and table. Okay, since we have short time, I have already filled them in. Let's move to the next step quickly. The next step is to create the output as HTML table so we can send it in the email easily. To do that, first select data operation. Then select create HTML table to create the table. Now this action is asking me to tell it where to get the values, and the answer is yes, from the list row action, also known as value in the dynamic content. Now let's prepare a simple HTML table for our email. In the header output, put book name, and in the value, put book name as well. But the most important thing is we'll have to select show advanced options first, and from automatic we'll change it to custom. We'll continue doing this for author and completion date. Sorry, my typing speed is a bit slow. Oops, I put it in the wrong place. We don't have to fill in the last one. Let's move to the let's move to a new step and connect it to Outlook. I'm going to send it to my father, who is system admin, and to myself for test purpose. In the subject, I'm going to put books finished so far. And we're also going to add a formula in the expressions that will show our current date. It's called UTC now. We're going to put single inverted comma and put DD dash MMM capital and YYYY for ears. We're going to press OK. And as you can see, it has appeared next to our text. Now we're going to format the body of the email and add in our output. And remember to give some space between our text and our output, or else all our text will be jumbled up and we won't know how to read it. Let's move to the final step and connect our flow to PowerApps. But first, remember to save it or else we'll lose our work. Now we are back in PowerApps Studio. Thank you, Zenubia, for making me co-owner of this app. So now we'll go to Insert and select Icons. We're going to use the most suitable icon, which is going to be Message. We're going to position it next to the refresh button and change its format to white so it's more visible. Now we're going to go to Actions and select Power Automate. And as you can see here, because of us selecting the Power Apps as its trigger, our flow has appeared in the list below. If we select it, we'll see a formula in the onSelect property. And since we don't have anything to pass through run, we'll close the brackets. Let's see the result and validate our flow. I will start from saving the app first. Now let's run the app in preview, and we can also run it in preview using F5. Now I'm going to press the message button and wait for the email to arrive. Great, I have received the formatted email with the list of books just as expected, all done and ready for publishing. Thank you all. I hope this was fun for you. It was definitely a most awesome experience for us to share for the first time. We look forward to your comments and feedback.
Thank you, girls. Can I ask, is this really your first time presenting?
Yes.
Mind-blowing. I don't know if you've seen all the comments on the site. If your dad have read it to you, everyone is literally impressed.
I'm out of words actually, you know. Like...
Yeah, I seriously do not know what to talk at the moment. I was just texting Lani that maybe Lani, I should give up our MVP because you know where we can present this like this, you know. Wow, so absolutely, girls, absolutely stunning.
Adil, can I have a request? Can they run next lesson time?
Yeah, they are looking forward to it. They love sharing. So I help them here and there, but most of the things, the idea, the structure of the presentation was done by them. So I think they will be able to. They'll be really glad to do more sessions.
I have to say that the instructions are so clear, every step of it, and easy to follow. I think Stefan was saying, so Stefan is he's just out of uni, going into the working world this year, I think. So he's saying, I'm literally mind blown right now. They're able to get the NCP at age of 10. I love your presentation, and we say, Zara, you should learn to make creative name for your tables. So, anyone have any questions for Adil or Zara and Zenubia? Turn on your mic or share your video if you want to. Any questions?
I have.
That's the fun.
Yes, so I was just wondering, so Zara and Zenubia, did you learn all this over the internet, or was there like some training you did, or?
We did both.
Okay.
So hi, this is Adil here, their father. So most of the time they are very peculiar when it comes to question answers. They say yes, no, maybe, that kind of answers. They don't go much in details. So what they did is mostly every time I used to present Power Platform, they used to come and ask, what is this? We really, it sounds interesting. We want to learn about it. So I introduced him to Microsoft Learn, and then on YouTube, I let them, watch some of the videos around it. So that's where they started learning and doing it. And I think for them to really understand the concepts and become prepared for PL 900 was the labs that are available. Like on a GitHub, you can find app in a day, app in an hour sort of stuff, right? Okay. So those labs were like really a enlightening version for them. So they were able to really understand it very quickly in terms of what to do, how to do, and perhaps you must have seen some of the reflection of the labs here as well. The way the lab explains step by step, so they learn it in that way, that if you are also sharing, you need to go step by step, show everything very clearly. So labs were very helpful. MS Learn was very helpful. Those two were the main sources.
Okay. Thank you. I guess one of the things I've tried playing around with PowerApps a little bit in the past couple of weeks, and I guess I still struggle with the formulas. Like, I just want to, I guess, understand what the logic is. Like, is there a logic, or is it just practice? Like, you just get used to it as you learn more of it?
Practice and logic.
There you go.
Thanks, guys.
Patience, Stefan.
Patience.
I guess I feel that maybe as an adult, like people like us who have gone through, we have learned other stuff, other IT system and all, we try to overthink it. We try to keep going to the bottom of why things are that way, whereas I guess for Zara and Zenubia, they just absorb like a sponge. Am I right, Adil?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, some of the things, even with what I, struggle, it was like a common sense to them. So I felt like, no, it cannot be, and they would say, no, it should be like that. So it is a way of thinking. I think the more you're open to learn new things, it becomes much more easier.
Okay.
Right, Zara, Zenubia?
Yeah.
Thanks, girls.
So Zara and Zenubia, what's your advice for people who wants to learn PowerApps? What is your one-liner tip?
Practicing about apps. Keep practicing apps.
And do example apps also, right? There are so many example apps available.
And we should also do example apps so we can get more understanding about them.
That's a very good advice. Ashita, I see that you have a question, or you want to say something?
When are you going to take the next session, Zara and Zenubia?
We don't know yet.
Okay. Today was nice.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So if people wants to connect with you, Zara, Zenubia, what is the best way? Is it through your dad or through your dad? So Adil, maybe can we share your LinkedIn?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You should.
So I'll share, or Jiwa can either one of us, you just share Adil's LinkedIn on the chat. If anyone wants to connect with them, you have more questions, just disturb Adil.
We're most happy to share.
Yeah, any other questions from the room? If no one have questions, we'll just move on to Geetha. Geetha is doing lesson time. No stress.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. They have actually made my job easier. They've almost covered. I'm like even more a stage before, you know. I'm just going to go talk about data. Like, hey, Geetha, are you like outdated? You're talking about data? What's data? Oh no. That was absolutely brilliant, girls. You had total command over language, you know, the way you explain the steps. Actually, you're eligible for MCT. I'm like, I cannot stop telling it. Yeah, you should try for an MCT. You are very good in training. If you do it, I think people will be like mind blowing, you know. Even experienced guys, we used to sometimes assume that this will be, you know, anyone can pick it up easily. But, you know, you just made sure that everything you explain, it was really nice. Yeah. Lani, you are right. I should take a deep breath now.
I'm not doing my MCT now. I'm not qualified.
Oh,
No, because we are not fooling around. Like seriously say you're really good. Like we have seen so many people who have experience presenting and
We are overwhelmed.
All right, thank you. All right,
so
Geetha,
sweet.
all yours.
Thanks, Lani. So hopefully I'll be able to tell someone who haven't tried all this. But yeah, let me just go ahead and present. Yeah, guys, before I start, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm so glad to be with Zara and Zenubia today. It was really interesting, and yeah, we should keep learning. That's what it indicates today as well. We should keep learning on how do we present, how do we talk, and how do we carry ourselves. I'm really proud, girls, before I start. I'm Geetha. I'm an enterprise architect at Avanade, and I'm based out of Singapore. So that's a quick introduction about myself. Yeah, so hope you're able to see my face in the slide as well for you to remember. So yeah, let's go ahead. Before we move, right, I'm just going to talk about how do you handle data with PowerApps, right? I believe not everyone will know what is data because I have faced this when I was young. So I want to have the foundation being set right. What do we mean by data? I think Zara and Zenubia might have answers. What do we mean by data? What is data, basically? We say data. What is data in real time? Any answers welcome. What's data? We say data. What is data?
Collection of information.
Yeah, it's the known facts. What do we know about things? So we are going to just revise the science that we know and then get back to computer science, how it relates to PowerApps. Basically, it's the known facts and information. So these, we call it to be data, right? That's nice. We've reached to a state to a basic understanding of what a data means, right? Data is something that you collect on a day-to-day basis. You see your mom, you register in your mind that she looks like this, she has, meaning her hair is like this, your father is like this, your home is situated in this place, you had to go straight, turn right, all this is data, right? So basically you are collecting data, you're recording data in a day-to-day basis. So human body is an absolutely brilliant creation that processes so much of information. And this information is basically, we call it to be data. It's the alternate term, I would say. So in general, how do humans store the facts and information that we know? I just said, right, we are just collecting so much of information, right? My mom looks like this. She has a long hair, short hair, all that we store that information, right? That's how the baby, when grows, like she will just keep recording all the information that she has, and then she collectively brings it together, and then she will figure out what it is, right? So how do we store that data? Basically, this is science, right, kids? Do you remember what's this? So basically, this is the nerves, right? These are the nerves that carry information. So like, yes, someone taps, you just get to know that someone is tapping you, right? How do we just get to know? Signals are being passed, right? We don't know how the signals are being passed, but signals are being passed somewhere over here. So yeah, my nerve carries information, right? Something is there to carry that information. If you get burnt, it sends information so that you store it somewhere. Hey, you don't touch that. The first time the baby goes and touches a fire, it will not touch it the next time. How? It stores that information. Oh, there is something out of it. I shouldn't touch it, right? So you collect the data and store it somewhere. Where do you store? Any guesses? Where do you store? What's this? Basically, you store it into this. What's this? Any idea, kids?
It's our brain.
Yeah, it's your brain. So your nerve carries and you store it into your brain. So what is the data storage that you have within your human body? It's your brain, isn't it? That's where you store and you retrieve as well. Correct? Yeah. Now let's move on to PowerApps and data, right? So we know how do we humans collect information, how that data is being sent to, and where do we store? We store it in our brain. So now when it comes to PowerApps and data, digital data, when we collect information via a computer, mobile phone, or any other device, that's called digital data, right, guys? So this digital data, you need to get it somewhere. Somehow you need to get that information from some place and then store it digitally. Digitally means online, right? Into any of the storage mechanisms that you have. So one of your collection mode is PowerApps, right? You, like Zara and Zenubia, they just showed an interface for you to collect information about the books, right? So in my sample, I'm just going to show you a form. This one is called as a form. You guys are aware, right? What is a form? In reality, in day-to-day life, you come across these forms. Where do you see these forms? You go to school when your parents enroll you to any exams, right? Like Olympiad exam or any other exam, they just fill up some forms, right? They just fill it up physically, and rather, instead of doing that, you can make that form, you can design that form in PowerApps, and you can get that information as well, correct? Not only that form, the enrollment form, it could be any other forms. So you can use those forms to collect that information. Like, you're able to just capture the image of that also. If you want to prepare an ID card for the school, you can take a picture of the kid, right? And then create an ID card out of it. So basically, the form is the way wherein you collect that information, correct? And then you need to store, like in this example I've just stored, if you want to collect information about a person, we call it to be a contact in general, right? It's just English is really, sometimes you can use it in multiple ways. So when you had to store information about a person in PowerApps, or in Microsoft terms, we call it to be contacts. So basically, when I had to get details about the contacts, it could be anything, right? If I want to know about a person, what all should I know? I should first know the names so that I can call by that name, right? So basically, you just collect each of that information, like name, mobile phone, because yeah, it's very essential, right? Even kids have WhatsApp today, right? So you need the phone numbers, email, and what else? It could be the address. If at all you want to have a play date, you want to visit the place, you want the address, right? So all that information you collect. Usually what you do, you just give a paper and the person fills it and gives you, right? Maybe his father's mobile number, name, and all that. That's what we call it to be data. And this is the form that you can develop, right? The next thing is the information collected in the online form. As I said, this is the digital data because you don't have it physically wherein you go and store it into your storage box or into any of your wardrobes, right? It's digital data. And how to store this data and get that data back? We need to know the different options that we have, right? Basically, now we had to send in that information. Now we have captured the data from within a form, right? Now you had to send in that information to the storage. Do you know how that data gets passed from that place to your storage? Like something happens here and you just store it, or you see something through your eyes and you store it into your brain. How do you do that? It's through your nerves, right? Something connects from your eyes, from your hands, from all parts of your body. It connects to your brain. Brain is your data storage, right? Similarly, how do you connect your form, which is where you captured information, to your backend data storage? Any idea, guys? How do you do it in PowerApps? Using connectors. Basically, you have a lot of connectors that has been pre-built by Microsoft that you can use, like Excel, Dataverse. These are all different connectors, or SharePoint. You might have multiple licenses to use, which you can connect OneDrive, and you can use many other connectors. There are so many, numerous connectors, many connectors that are available from Microsoft. So basically, you can use your connectors to connect your data from PowerApps, which is the form or the front end that you use. Like if you write it into a paper, you just store it into a file, right? So basically, similarly, these forms, your online forms, you can use your connectors through your commands, or since Power Platform is a low code, no code, you can just do by clicks, and then you can configure so that these connectors connected automatically to your data storage, whatever you point to. So basically, when we say connectors, what? Connectors have two ends, right? It will have one end and the other end. You had to connect two places. The one end you connect to the form, the place where you are capturing the data, and the other end you will connect it to the place where you had to store that data. And these connectors are pre-built code. Somebody has already written that code for you or the program for you, so that it will just, okay, this is the information that I need to take it. Okay, this is the list of information that I need to take. And it will know how to take that information and store it into the data storage. You don't need to worry about it. But yes, if you're an advanced person, you have already gone through all of this and you do not have a connector that's been given by Microsoft, then you can build your own custom connector for it. But yeah, but that's too complex to think about it now. Let's go simple steps, baby steps. So yeah, connectors, it's like a tunnel connecting from one city to the other city. You have connectors from within Power Platform. Many connectors to various data sources to store and get data. And since Zara and Zenubia already gave you a demo, right? I'm not going to deep dive into the connectors, and I'll just show you in a simple manner how to go and where to search for the connector. All right. This Microsoft Power Platform, when we say Power Platform, all these different items, Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agents. These are the components of your Power Platform, which means these are the different things that are available in your Power Platform. And yes, like how your human body has so many components or organs in it, right? And how every organ gets connected to your data storage. Similarly, in your Power Platform, you have data connectors which will connect your components to your data storage, which comes out of the box. When we say out of the box, out of the human body, the same data storage that you have is your brain, right? But still, if you tend to forget, what would you do? Would you still just rely on your brain? No, right? You just go and write it somewhere, keep it, and then you can take it back and then refer it, right? That's why you take notes. Similarly, you can store it outside also, out of Power Platform, or else you can just go with the inbuilt data storage that you have, which is the Dataverse. Dataverse is just nothing but the name of the storage that comes from the Power Platform. All right. So yeah, what is a tip? I have a tip for you. So do you want to save or retrieve data in batches? Like you want to do it in one full set. Like, right now you're just getting one book data. Like, you can just record details of one book. Then you will just read one another book, and then you will key in the details of the author, the name, the date you completed, and everything, right? You're just doing one by one. You're going to the form and then you're doing it one by one. Rather, you just wanted to do it in bulk. Like, somehow I went for a vacation. I didn't have any internet connection, but I read around 10 books. Now I had to just get this, book data, whatever I read, into your data storage. You can do it. You can do it in batches, right? All this 10 together in one shot to your database. How do you do that? Like connectors, you have something known as data flows. You can just know that there is an option which is available. You don't need to, if you have time, if you've already gone through the connectors, you can go and read more about the data flows. But data flows is definitely a separate session by itself. So I'm just pausing it here. There is an option for you to do, and data flows is the way to go for. All right. So data storage, where do you store the data? Before we go in here, right, let me just go in and then try to create a new app. All right. So what did I do? I went to the make.powerapps.com. Like, when you go to your office, this is your office, or like, oh, I just closed. Okay. You just go in here and then you will have all the licenses or the subscriptions that you have, which means you subscribe to any books, right? If you subscribe to books, you will get it. Yeah.
Excuse me, we can't see the screen.
Just
Geetha, are you sharing the right screen? Actually, I believe it is in between the presentation.
Just give me a moment.
Yeah, just share the screen, the other one. Actually.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my desktop for ease. Okay. You're able to see my screen now, right?
Yeah, I can see the PowerApps screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, these are the little subscriptions that you have, and out of here, you would be able to figure out all your subscriptions. You would have PowerApps. Since I have too many, it's not listed in the recent, and you can figure out, and you can just click on it. This cube kind of, right? You can just click on this Rubik's Cube. You can just click on it and then you can figure out where you have that subscription. If it's not listed, you can click on all apps and you will be able to figure out the Power Apps from here, right? If you click this, automatically this page will be opened. You go to apps and then you try to create a new app from here. So let me just try create a Canvas app. Okay. So there are two things. Either if you're clear and you want to connect to what data storage, like you have an Excel file in your OneDrive to which you would want to store your data, you can choose OneDrive. If you want to store it into the Dataverse or the Common Data Service, which was the previous name, it's like kids being renamed. I had a name something like something else. Maybe you just give a nickname to me now. So it's like Ali's name, right? So Microsoft has changed the name from Common Data Service to Dataverse recently, but still it's not been reflected here. But yeah, if at all you want to store it to Dataverse, you can use this connection. If you click on this, automatically the app will be connected to your data storage. But since I would want to demo it, I'm just choosing a blank app. That's an easy way. The first one is a shortcut. You know you had to connect to your Dataverse, and then you are just selecting that, right? But otherwise, if at all you want to understand how it works, it's a plain screen, right? I don't have anything over here. So now what I will do is I'll just go here, and then you go here, right? The fourth icon from here, which looks like a cylinder. You go in here, you click on this, you would be able to see all the environments that is being connected, like over here, right? Which environment you are in. Like you have different playgrounds, right? Say for example, your school campus is too vast. You will have kids playground or the primary school playground and the secondary school playground. You can name it, right? Similarly, that's what we call it to be environment. Hey, I'm playing in this playground. Can you come over here? So if you had to meet your friend or you had to do your job, you had to go to the right place, right? So that's where you had to be in the right environment. After you select your environment, you go to the data source, which is the cylinder here, and then since I do have my Dataverse already, these are the tables that is already being present. I can connect it over here. I'll just come back here. This is the place you go and check all your connectors. Right now, there are so many options for you to connect. Excel Online, Teams, you have so many options, right? If I had to read, I had to keep reading. There are so many options that you see here. When you find time, you can just go and read when you go through all the list of apps, okay, that you can connect from your PowerApps. This is the place where you enable your connection or where you connect to your data, whether to read or to write. All right, let's get back to the presentation for us to understand the basics. So where do we store the data? Many options are there. I already showed you that. And Dataverse is a good option and easy too, because it comes as a bundle along with your PowerApps, so it's easy to use. Data within Dataverse is stored in tables. When we say tables, is it the table on which I've kept my computer? Not. I will tell you what is table, right? In PowerApps or in general, when you talk about computer science, table means a little different. It's a little different terminology that I will just come back to you. A table is a systematic arrangement of data in rows, which means if you're storing data into your brain, you may not be able to retrieve it properly, which means that's why we find sometimes we forget things, right? If you systematically store it, then you will remember it easily. So if you had to go to a place, will you just remember, oh, that place is over there. I had to get down in that place. Maybe the last turn that I should make is right. No, you will not remember like that, right? Your parents will tell you, okay, you board this train from this bus stop, you get down in this bus stop, and then you walk straight, you take right, you find the shop where you go and buy your pen or your candy or whatever, right? So you store it in a systematic manner. That's how in a table you are systematically storing your data so that it's easy for your retrieval and reading and making sense out of it later. All right. So this is a sample of the table. This is how the data will be stored into your Dataverse or Excel or any data storage that you might have. It will be systematically stored. So Dataverse, this one is called as a row, which means about a single person or about a single object, you store an information that's called a row. And one single information about that particular person or an object is called as a column. Like my first name, last name, email, each one is a column and each one is an attribute that explains about myself, right? So all this information are called as attributes or columns of, where do you store the data about the person. All right, so hopefully now you're clear about what it means by a table, right? The beauty about Dataverse is you don't need to create tables right from scratch. You don't need to go and say, hey, for getting information about a contact, I need to know his first name, last name. No, it's not needed. Microsoft knows globally, any country you go, any city you go, any town you go, if you had to get a contact from a person, these are the basic details that you should know. So Microsoft has just made sure that they have just collated all this information, and they've already pre-built, like how you have the pre-built code, here you have the pre-built tables within your Dataverse, which means this data storage, when you connect, it will readily show you a lot of tables within. That's the beauty of Dataverse. So Dataverse includes a basic set of standard tables that covers typical scenarios like your contact, or if you had to record some details about the company, yeah, you would have all the details. But for kids, maybe you would want to create your own tables for storing books or any other information that is of your interest, like any series that you watch, or it may be about science or sci-fi movies. You should just create your own tables for that purpose. But in general, if you want to know about a person, or basic details about address, yes, you have all those tables already being built and being given by Microsoft. All right, so you can create custom tables, and you should try, like how Zara and Zenubia, they created the tables to store their book details that they read. Likewise, you can also create so much. It's too early to say thank you. So yeah, let's go back to the Power Apps. Now I've just had this, right? Just give me a moment. I'll just show you a sample of how the table might look like. Like I said, Dataverse, right? When I say Dataverse, this is the place. As soon as you open your Power Apps, this is the set of navigation that you have in the left side, right? So if you go in there and then check out, just give me a moment. You just go to table data, right? You just expand that. You click anywhere over here, it will just expand. That list will be expanded. So you go to tables. This is how it will look like. These are the pre-built tables that Microsoft gives you. And over here, you can just select the contact. You double click on it. All these details will come. What are the columns or the fields? What details that you will record about the person? They might have multiple addresses, right? Office address, home address. That's the reason there is address 1, address 2 kind of. And this data, I just tried to store in the data from an app. Let me just go to the app that I just did. Okay. So what I did was, I just created some form, Excel form and a Dataverse form. I've connected it to the two different sources. This is the new app, right? So basically you can go in here and then you can add in a form. All right, you can just add in a form. I've added it in. What I'm trying to say is I'm just capturing the details, so I'm just giving new, default mode new. If you click on this, right, what I did was I just clicked on the plus symbol to just insert a form, which is the edit form, the second option from here. It comes over here, and then after it gets added, if you want to configure this form, you should select on this. You should just go left click on it. Then it will be selected. Your properties window will come. The default mode, it will be set to edit. You should just change it from edit to new. After you select the new, there is something called as data source over here, right? This is the place where you will say where you wanted to store this information. If you want to store it to Dataverse, which is the database that comes along with the Power Apps, then you can just go ahead and select the entities, the second option, and then you can choose. Like I'm going to get the details of the contacts. So I'm just using whatever was pre-built, and I've just given that contacts over here, right? By default, it's just picking some two fields over here, and I would want to edit what field. I basically do not want this full name, so I'm just removing this. Okay, and I just clicked on the 3 ellipses and then delete it. If you want to delete this, you should just go here and then 3 ellipses, select that, and then you should click on this remove here. Okay, it will be deleted. Now let's go ahead and add a couple of fields. I clicked on this plus add field over here, and then you find an entire list of fields, whatever is available from whatever Microsoft has already created. If you don't find your field or attribute that you would want to store, you can create a field over here, but then I would suggest you go ahead and select whatever existing here. If you want to search, say for example, I just want to show the first name. I just typed in the name of the column and then it shows me here. I'm just adding that field. As soon as that's been added, I click OK. The first name comes here and I'm just saying I would want a text box to be shown, like a box to be shown for me to write that information. Okay, I just gave that first name and then I'm closing this. Now this form is there, right? So now it automatically goes ahead and stores that information. Like if you go back to your app, I already gave the information, and if I go the same app, just give me a moment. I think I'm running behind time. I have some connection issues, guys. Just give me a moment. So basically, if you go ahead and save the details over here, then it will be saving it into your table and you can just go here. This is the data that I just saved just before the demonstration. And since we are running out of time, I'm just showing you the data that got stored. I basically gave the details and it got stored. And over here, the other app that I had, just give me a moment. Let me just open that app for a quick demonstration. You can also store it to your Excel file. So basically, like if you connect your Excel file, this is how it will be. But normally, if you create an Excel, right, like for example, let me just try to go ahead and tell you this. If you go create an Excel workbook over here, normally if you type something like book name, it would not come like a table. This would not be taken by the PowerApps. Basically, what you should do is, if at all you're typing something like this, select your details and then you can go format as table, right? You just select this. Then you can say, I do have headers for my table, which means I do have the information of what the column name is. Once you select this, now you can push this information to your PowerApps, all right? Yeah, this is the app. So you can just go in and give the details like this, okay? And then you can click on save. Likewise, what I've done is I've just tried to create a connection to, let me just go, put in a new screen, form, and then over here, I just go in and then select new, all right? And from here, let me select the data source to be an Excel from online, right? Excel from online. So basically what you can do is alternatively, you can go ahead and select your Excel from here, right? But rather I'm not using Excel online. I just stored it in OneDrive, right? So I'll just type it as OneDrive. So now I just select the OneDrive. Sorry, mine is with OneDrive for Business. So let me just go OneDrive for Business. Yeah, I just choose my combination, and as soon as I did, whatever files that I created, it would be coming up over here. Okay, and then you should select your table, and immediately that table would be the connection for you. And then what you can do is you can add the fields. Like for example, in this Excel file, I do have first name, last name, and phone number. Okay, let me just add only these 3 fields because I wanted only these 3 fields. Okay, now let me just show you the sample Excel I have. Only I have these 3 rows, right? I have information about only 3 members in my app now. But let me just go ahead and just run this. Now I can just Amanda John. I'm just giving some number as my contact number. Okay, then you click save. As soon as you click your save, since I've opened it, it's giving me that error. So you just click save and automatically that information gets saved here. Now let's go back and check whether that details got added. You were seeing only 3 rows, right? Details only about the 3 people. Now you've whatever information that you added got updated into this Excel book itself, right? Similarly, it happens to your Dataverse as well. This comes to the end of our session. Any questions?
If anyone have any questions after this session, Jiwa have shared Geetha's contact as well. So you can ping her on LinkedIn. Is that the best place, Geetha?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can ping her on LinkedIn and I'm sure she will answer your questions there.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything? No? Geetha,
Yeah.
thanks a lot. That was a very, very easy to understand data explanation.
Yeah.
I like how you use all the real life scenarios and the brain. I'm gonna steal that one.
Yeah, that's so nice because that's important for kids to understand. Why do we call it data and where do we store it? That is nice. Yeah, Shita.
I'm Akshita.
Yeah,
Do you have any blog?
I do have. I have the URL in my slide.
Okay.
I haven't put these contents into the blog yet. Okay, I'll just ping you the URL in the Teams window. Is that fine?
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem.
Thank you so much, Geetha. I really like the way, as Danny said, no, you compare the data with the brain and the connectors to a central nervous system. And it's a great session as always. And yeah, big thanks to presenters. Like we know how busy you are, and we're so grateful that you took the time to prepare and spend a day with us during the weekend. And big thanks to Shiva, who's doing the heavy lifting behind the screen. And I'll pass it to Shiva Lani to the conclusion.
Thanks. Actually, I don't have much left except I'm just going to show you the resources for PowerApps for Kids. So if you're interested to learn more, you can actually go to these URLs. Can you see my screen? Am I sharing it?
No, not yet.
Okay, let me know once you can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so there's a couple of PowerApps for Kids specific pages that you can go to. One is our website, PowerApps4Kids.com. So you have all the latest news about PowerApps for Kids. If you don't know, we are running these in UK as well. So there's UK one that runs every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. UK time, which is actually 4 a.m. Australia time. So it's not very time zone friendly, but if you happen to be in that time zone and you want to join, you can actually check out when is the next event over here. And we always have our event over here as well. There's blogs, there's courses, there's video, basically linked to all the resources of PowerApps for Kids. Another one I want to highlight is the PowerApps for Kids course. So Rory, which is actually the person that started this whole PowerApps for Kids initiative, he have created this page called PowerApps Learn, and you can sign up where you get all the courses for free. So it's a lot of step-by-step courses over here, as you can see. So there's a free Canvas app course, Project 1000 students. There's also short courses like how to create games, which is, I think, is quite easy to learn. Depends on what is your learning, how you prefer to learn it. Some people prefer a more structured way of learning. Some people prefer to just hop onto a project. So you got everything over here. So if I go to PowerApps from Zero to Hero, this is where you can see all the curriculum, the list of courses. So it's like how to build your first app, table content. So this is this is very good for people who just want to get started with it. And then Jiwa and I also thought that we can do a hands-on session if you want with one of the courses, and you can follow up with all the other courses here. So let us know if there's any interest for it. We can run one, maybe 45 minutes, a short one, 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll do it together. Virtually, of course, but you can have your PowerApps open, and then we are there, we can guide you through it. So let us know if there's any interest, or if your friends have any interest in it. Just give us a ping, and then if you get enough people, we can run that in the next few months. Lastly, what we have is also our YouTube channel. If you have missed any of the session, you can always go back to it because every session is recorded. If you want to watch Zara and Zenubia again, you can come back here. It's uploaded normally in 3 to 5 days. We'll get it uploaded on this site, and I'll actually normally post it to social media once we have it uploaded. So any questions about our resources? Of course, beside this, there's also other community blogs and community YouTube videos, which I think is like all over LinkedIn and Twitter and stuff. But if you want to know any specific ones, feel free to ping Jiwa and I. Jiwa can share our LinkedIn profile or Twitter profile if you have it handy, Jiwa. Yeah, you can just share that. Yeah, feel free to drop us a message if you need help. If you have anything interesting that you want to present, let us know as well. We always welcome little presenters. As you see, we learn a lot from little presenters. Like we learn a lot from Zara and Zenubia today. Okay. All right. So the last thing I want to share is what's next. Just going to share my slide again. So I think this slide, yeah. So our next event will be on March. So from this year onward, at least for the next 6 months, we have decided to have PowerApps4Kids on the second last Saturday of the month, 2:30 p.m. AEDT. Or I think it's I'm not sure what time is it in Singapore. Is it 3 hours behind, right?
Yeah.
1:30 p.m. Singapore time, and then 11:30. 11:30 p.m. Singapore time, and I think 9:30 India time, or 9 o'clock India time.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9 o'clock India time. And we are always looking for little presenters. If you have friends, niece, nephew, anyone you know who have done amazing things, we want this to be a platform where kids to present and grow, not just about learning PowerApps and building a career out of it. It's never about that. It's about a space for you to kind of build your creativity, come and showcase, be proud of what you have done. Another thing is I want to share is this survey that we have. If you could quickly just pop in and do the survey, let us know what you like about this session. So we have been experimenting for the last 3 months, trying to put in different ways of making these sessions more interesting and easy to follow for all of you. So we would really love to hear the feedback. That's all from me today. Jiwa, do you have anything else you want to share?
Yeah. So just the last one. So guys, this is a kind of open community forum, and we would like to work with you all closely to get your feedbacks, your suggestions, whichever works for you, and to your friends and your nephews. Please bring them on, and we're trying to build that student, let's say, the young learners, right, platform for the Power platform. And yeah, with that, please provide your valuable feedbacks as well. And I'll drop my mine and Lanny's LinkedIn URL and your email. Please feel free to drop any suggestion. If you have any clarification, reach us out as well. And with that, yeah, I'd say happy advance happy Chinese New Year. It's on February 12th. Yeah. And thank you. Take care. Thank you everyone for joining today again.
Thank you. Jiwa and I will be on the line for another 5-10 minutes if anyone have questions or else. Thanks a lot. See you next month or March. Sorry.
March. Yeah.